300K. Welcome to Montana Madness. For 300K. For 300K. 300K. Welcome to Montana Madness.
Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and welcome back to Montana Madness. It's been a little while because we've been getting all the new stuff and the update and all that stuff taken care of. But we are back on the hunt for 300,000 damage into Montana. Been a crazy night tonight. I've had a lot of highs and a lot of lows, but I've got a couple of clips to show you guys that I think you're going to enjoy. This one in particular was one of the early games that I played, and this match had so much potential. It really did. But two unfortunate situations, well, technically three unfortunate situations happen, and that leads to just sadness. But we'll go over that when we get there. For now, I hope you guys are ready for some good old-fashioned Montana beatdowns. All right? Don't get it twisted. Y'all already know the deal. This is one of my favorite ships in the game. That's why I chose this one for the Montana, or for the like hunt for 300K. Also, I've already got 300K in a Conqueror, I've got 300K in Vermont, I've got 300K in Ohio, I believe, I've got 300K in Yamato. Like, most of the legendary tier ships, I've gotten 300K. I've just never had that game in the Montana. I've been close, but I've never broken it, and that's why I'm trying. But it's not for lack of trying, that's for sure. I have absolutely shown that this ship is completely and utterly ridiculous in the right hands. It's got amazing armor, it's got ridiculous firepower, accuracy, hard-hitting guns, all the things that you come to know and love out of your ship. Now, for those of you who don't remember what I'm currently running as my build, it is just the Azure Lane, New Jersey damage build, with Arthas the Cold as a substitute there, so that when I put up my catapult fighter, I get an extra 20% damage. Okay, so it's basically a full damage build. Not quite a full damage build, but close. But anyway, Preussen here decides he wants to go behind the island. We're going to go ahead and take a shot at him. I want you guys to pay attention to what's going on this map. Now, this shot here was absolutely beautiful. Every time I see a Preussen, I just start smiling, because they are so cocky. They really are. Like, they forget that they're a Grosser Kurfürst at the end of the day. Like, yes, you have okay guns. I get it. But you are far too willing to sit broadside to use those guns. And that's your ultimate undoing, as I just absolutely punish these guys over and over and over again. But unfortunately, I end up being like the only one that punishes these guys, because the guy in front of me in the Yamato, he's just kind of sitting broadside. And despite most of them shooting me, he somehow has lost all of his health. I don't understand how that works. Like, this Preussen over here has been shooting me the whole time. You can see I'm kind of trying to figure out if he's going to turn away. So I aim a little bit higher here. I just want to hit some superstructure. But you can see this poor Yama in front of me has just been absolutely obliterated by the guy to my left. Now, look at how much damage that guy has left. He has just been absolutely shredded. He's going to continue to be a problem for the rest of the game, and I'm not joking. This is why it's so important to focus down enemies. If this Yamato had been shooting at that guy instead of worrying about this Preußen all the way in the back of the map, then we potentially would have gotten rid of him, and this game may have ended differently, and it could have potentially been the one for 300k. That's how good this game ended up being. But right out the gate, we slap this Preußen, and not only do we slap him, but we destroy one of his turrets in the process. I believe it was his X turret, but unfortunately, Yama goes down. Actually, it was not. It was his B turret that was destroyed. But as he tries to angle away here, we're just going to aim high, try to get as many shells on the superstructure as possible. But notice I'm already angling away. I know that that guy's still alive over there on the corner. I know that this guy's still, you know, you've got to respect their guns. But we are going to go ahead and start to think about turning in here. You can see Gearing gets himself spotted. Our guy is already engaging him, and so that's good. We've also got a Schlieffen there who's going to help engage. And as he comes around the corner, see, this is the problem. Destroyers forget that when they're spotted, you gotta change what you're doing, because look at this shot right here. This man's half health right now, and this shell comes in out of nowhere. He turns at the last second, and that's probably what saves his life. But we still hit that man with 7 shells, leaving him, of course, in true Spartan fashion, with just enough for somebody else to get the kill. But Schlieffen does, in fact, finish him off, so that's perfect. That is a huge win for our team, but as you can see, we're already 3 ships down. Well, 2 ships down now because we just killed one of them. But look at this. Preußen is just sitting here beached on the island begging for it. And unfortunately, that's going to bite us right in the boot. Because our guys are going to go behind the island and stop spotting this man. And that's not ideal. But also, this guy forgets about the Preußen to my right and gets absolutely yeeted. Now, I was talking to this guy during the game, and he's a good dude. I have nothing against him. He's actually a really good team player as well, and he's willing to do what needs to be done rather than play for like craziness. And that will be shown later on as he goes back to go to Bravo, because I anticipated them going through the middle and causing problems for our team. I also wanted him to go back because he could potentially help the right flank, as those guys would fall back. But unfortunately, those guys never do actually fall back. They just kind of let them run over them. And I am not able to do enough quick enough because of what ends up happening with this flank. The Preußen that you saw that was beached on the island that I should have been able to take care of by now, if not for the fact that our guys have managed to stop getting them spotted, he's gonna get into a kiting position and he's gonna start running away, and this is gonna be a problem because it sets my team up for not being able to get rid of him, first of all, but it also sets me up for a crossfire, and that's not ideal. And when I say set me up for a crossfire, I mean I'm going to be in a crossfire, because he's going out, and his teammate is on the inside. We know this. He looked like he was running away at one point, and then he kind of just stopped and came back, and he's still hanging around. Now we get a beautiful shot here into the superstructure, and again, this is why I love this ship. This is why I love American battleships. A lot of people will give me a bunch of grief about American battleships, say that I'm just biased because I'm American, but in reality, it has nothing to do with it. Yes, I'm American. Yes, I like America. But the reason I like these ships has nothing to do with them being American. It just has everything to do with their consistency. I know what I'm going to get most of the time when I pull the trigger. You still get trolled once in a while, but most of the time, you can put the shells pretty much where you want them. And it shows over and over again in every Montana Madness video you guys will watch, is like just the pure consistency of this ship. It's absurd, really, to be honest. A lot of people think that this ship is terrible, and honestly, again, if I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you don't like the Montana, or if you cannot like a ship and still do okay in it, right? Like, we all have those ships. So, oh my, no. Out of all the things that could possibly come back, a Loria. Now, why is this such a bad thing? That's why. SAP is a problem. And then I get citadeled by the Preußen in the process. And the other guy sticks his nose around the corner. I thought I was dead right there. I'm not going to lie. That Loria coming back just ruined everything. And in that one moment, that one oopsie, I have lost all of my health. Now, what have I said about people that are still alive? As long as they've got at least one hit point, they are just as dangerous as if they are full health. Okay? And I am going to prove that once again. despite getting absolutely curb blastered, I am going to continue to put the pressure on. Now, again, the Schlieffen fell back because I asked him to, okay? Just putting that out there. Nobody can say anything bad about the Schlieffen leaving me out to hang here, okay? This was my choice. I had no idea that this guy was coming back, okay, first of all. But this was my choice, you know? You make your bed, you got to sleep in it. This is a perfect example of one of those situations. I was reading the map, I'm like, okay, if I was the enemy Preußen that was in the middle there, I would be pushing towards to try to flank the guys on the other side, and of course, if he gets back, he can potentially help with crossfires into the Alpha Cap and so on and so forth, right? That's what my thought process was. That's why I asked him to go back, and to his credit, he did just that. In the end, didn't quite play out the way we'd hoped, but look at this. What is this Loria doing? He knows I'm here! The man just slapped the out of me, and then he's like, yeah, I'll just go broadside. I thought I killed him right there, but unfortunately, you know, we're not allowed to do that. Now, I am very much aware of the fact that that Preußen is likely still hanging around, and I don't want to get caught. And I've got to stay as angled as possible against this Loria. And you can see I've got the Schlieffen also taking shots at him. But look at the you can't do this. Do you know the size of the citadel of that ship? You are lucky to still be alive after the last shot. And then we're going to hit the Arthas button, and of course we only get one citadel. Really? Really? Did I not lead him enough? And you can see here comes the Preußen again, taking the pot shots at me as I take shots at everybody else. But he's going to just keep going forward and backwards. He's doing a great job. I'm not going to, he's still a problem. But it's just one of those moments that's just so obnoxious for me. But again, this Loria is begging for this. I mean, he's still over-angled. He's still basically broadside. And of course, we only need a couple of citadels to finish the man off. And that's the time that he decides to load armor piercing and catch me a little over-angled. Highly unfortunate. But as you can see, I am going to be able to get another heal, but I got to wait another minute. So I'm going to let the Preußen out here go dark for the moment. I wanted to shoot him, but I'm going to let myself go dark. The reason being is I am going to put myself in a position to finish off the guy that's over here by Charlie once and for all. Now, if you're looking at the minimap, you're probably noticing that there's another battleship on his way back here. I didn't see that at the time. You know, tunnel visioning, we talk about it all the time. It happens to everybody. Everybody is susceptible to getting caught with tunnel vision. I had no idea there was another battleship on his way back right now. And that's going to bite me right in the backside real shortly. Now, as you can see, I'm almost 10 seconds away from getting my last heal off, which is great news for me because I'm going to be able to get another almost 15,000 damage back. And that's going to allow me to be a little bit more aggressive here. So you can see I'm already starting my turn, getting ready to take out the Preußen, and that's when it happens. After I committed to the turn, the Wisconsin, of all things, comes back and spots me, and the Preußen takes a shot, and I am forced to just yeet a shot out there into the oblivion because I knew I was dead. There was no coming back from that. Like, I was broadside as all broadside could get. But we managed to land a solid shot into the superstructure, but unfortunately, it was just not enough to take out the Preußen. Well played by the Wizzy. He just completely ruined my plans. Now, that Preußen may have screwed my plans up anyway, but I'm not sure that he would have. I don't think he would have spotted me before I killed the enemy Preußen, and at that point, I would have already been turning away, so then I would have been able to continue that turn away and probably been okay against the Preußen that was in the cap, the Charlie cap. But yeah, too little, too late. Wish in one hand, crap in the other. See which one fills up first. You know, it's just one of those things that you see it, and you didn't notice that the Wisconsin was coming back, right? We didn't notice there was a third battleship coming back, and that's what was my ultimate undoing, because I'm pretty confident that if he didn't come back and spot me right there, that I kill the Preußen that's on the outside edge, and then I continue my turn away, the Preußen inside wasn't doing a very good job of continuously getting damage against my superstructure, so I'm pretty certain that I would be able to survive that. And then maybe I could kill him as well. But unfortunately, our buddy in the Schlieffen doesn't manage to get rid of the Wisconsin on the right flank. The destroyer does his job, and it's a full health Gdansk. I mean, there's just not a whole lot he can do about it. And then our Michelangelo's almost dead as well. So we did everything we could. We did everything in our power to give our team the best possible chance to win, but just some games you're just going to lose. Everything goes wrong, and you just end up on the losing side. But 229,000 damage is still a pretty solid game, and a good early match for me to kind of give me an idea that maybe we could pull this off tonight. And yeah, you guys will have to see what we get in the next match. But as you can see, the Preußen finally does go through the middle, and yeah, he just finishes off the Marco. So well played by that Preußen to lose all of his health at the beginning of the match and still be a major player for the reason that that team won that game. But we get top of the leaderboard, not too shabby, and now you guys are going to see one of the most dominant performances you'll ever see in a Montana. Okay? It's not the highest damage game you're ever going to see in a Montana, okay? We're not going to go there. But in terms of just sheer, raw, just ridiculous Montana, this is what you can expect, right? We are going to completely dominate this flank. Now, we are going to get a little bit of help along the way, namely by our friendly Kleber. He is going to do his job. I know, shocker, crazy. Who'd have thunk it? Destroyers doing their job. It's a crazy concept. I wish it happened more often for my team. But, you know, we can't always choose who's next to us, right? But as we start to push off to the right, I'm actually pretty happy with this setup. This map in particular, I like to be a little bit aggressive on the Charlie Cap. The fact that we have a Kleber here means that he can pretty much win a 1v1 against any destroyer that he runs into. And then a Schlieffen here, you would expect to be pretty willing to be a brawler as well. Because generally in a Schlieffen, your whole goal is to get up close and personal. This is not the easiest map to get up close and personal on. So I'm not blaming the guy for not being able to do a whole lot. But yeah, when I first look at the map and I'm like, okay, we've got this, I'm feeling pretty good. But first shot out, we get 11k. You can see they're already shooting at the Schlieffen. Unfortunate for him, but fortunate for me. And you can see Montana back there, and I'm kind of paying attention because I expect the Montana to make the turn here. But to his credit, he just doesn't. But Preußen, on the other hand, decides he wants to just continue sailing in a straight line, over-angled, and we still have Arthas active, and he's about to find out the hard way. Blam! Look at that damage, y'all. No citadels, just 11 out of 12 shells finding their home. Okay? That is the sheer raw firepower of a Montana at its absolute finest, y'all. Just absolutely crushing broadsides. This is what, when I talk about people, when I'm like in the Leon or the Colombo or the Montana or Vermont, ships like that, the Kansas, when I talk about punishing mistakes, that's what I talk about. And you see, I just slapped that man again for another 10 pins. Well, 9 pins and one shatter or whatever. But you can see he's not happy. That man has gone from full health to no health, all because of the Montana. Right? The Montana is that strong. Okay? Do not ever sleep on a Montana. Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of potatoes out there in Montanas as well. I feed on them just like you guys do. Montana, if it stays broadside, can absolutely get yeeted. But you should never underestimate the guns of a Montana. Make no mistake about it. These are American 16-inch armor-piercing rounds lobbing Volkswagens at your broadside. Okay, you don't want that in your life. So don't play around with it. Respect it. However, if they give you broadside, send them to the Shadow Realm and make fun of them the whole time. But as we start to push in, you can see I'm looking at the Montana make his turn, and I'm like, oh my God, please spot him again. Please spot him again. You can't do this to me. But that's when the Preußen gets spotted out there. And you can see I don't want to shoot the Preußen. I want to shoot the Montana. Preußen's at the edge of my range. The likelihood that I manage to finish this guy is slim because he's heading away from me and he's on the edge of my range. I take the shot anyway because, again, we're not getting the spotting, unfortunately. And, of course, that's when the Montana gets spotted. But we only managed to hit one shell as expected, just not enough range to finish the guy off. But as we continue to push in here, our Schlieffen has kind of gotten bullied from the center of the map. So he's picked a spot where he can hide, and I'm going to try to take over being the... Motherfucker! Every time! How does he go dark every single time I get ready to shoot this man? Every time! Bullcrap, man. It's plot armor. But anyway, the man's is dead. He's struggling. You can see somebody taking a shot at our broadside. Turns out it's a Preußen. And so I do have a little bit of history with this Preußen. I think he was one of the ones in the previous match that was on my team that was one of 2 Preußens that were full health 10 minutes into the match hiding behind the same island that I was not thrilled, I'll be real honest. But we had a pretty good match in that one too, where we just completely obliterated our flank. But unfortunately, there's only so much I can do against 2 destroyers that are, you know, coming at me from either flank or either side. But we get a beautiful look here at the Preußen, and unfortunately just don't quite hit as many shells as I'd like. We do get a good result out of it, and we're at 111,000 damage. But I want you guys to pay attention to how much damage is left on the board right now. There's a lot of health out there. There's a full health Preußen here. There's that Preußen that's still, you know, relatively capable of healing. We've got our Kleber killed Urshima out here, and this is what I was talking about doing his job. He initiated the initial engagement with Urshima, but he never left him. He kind of let him go for a little bit and then came back and finished him off, which is huge because that allows me to just do me, right? Like if I don't have to worry about destroyers messing with me, I can do things like this, where I set up the shot and look at the shells going straight to the superstructure, y'all. Nasty, right? And that's not even that's just the beginning. Wait till you see what I do to the superstructures of these Preußens who think that they can just run away. But I want you guys to kind of pay attention to what happens next. I prioritize the target here. I could shoot the Preußen again, but the Alaska is a direct threat to the guy that just helped me get rid of Oshima. So, as a good teammate, I prioritize the radar. I don't want him to be a problem for my Kleber. And no Citadel whatsoever, but 9 rounds on target, 9 out of 12 on target. Absolutely clobbered the Alaska with Arthas, leaving him, of course, with just enough to get away every time. It's just the way it goes. But he's going to start to bow tank me, which is an interesting strategy. I don't hate him for it, but I'm not exactly thrilled because I want to shoot the Preußen more, and I wanted him to kind of follow the Preußen. But because he decides to bow tank me, then I'm going to have to show him the other weakness of the Alaska. While, yes, you do have, and he's shooting HE, sadness. If you got a broadside look at a battleship or a cruiser and you're in the Alaska, you better have AP loaded. I understand there are moments where you want to shoot, and look at this. You want to talk about accuracy. That man just landed every single shell that he fired out of that Preußen on my superstructure. Ridiculous. I would love to say that he did that on purpose, but I don't think he did. Here you can see he's over-angled. He's trying to bait me into shooting the belt, but I don't take the bait. I just shoot high, go through the upper side plating superstructure, and again, clobber the man. Of course, he hits me, gets the fire. You can see Preußen again getting a couple of pins on me. I'm just waiting for these guys to finish him off. We're at 197,000 damage. Still damage to be had out there, though. That Preußen's still pretty healthy. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to get a little bit annoyed in a moment. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. Help my teammates out. I've tried to, you know, I prioritize targets to help my Kleber. And I know that I just did this guy a favor and allowed him to be able to do this to the Preußen. Look at this accuracy. RNG giveth and RNG taketh. Holy balls, man. That was literally every shell that we fired landing. 2 of them did do no damage because they probably either hit the belt or they hit a gun face or whatever. 2 of them did no damage. Every other shell did damage straight into the superstructure of that Preußen. And if you thought it was a fluke, we're going to try to do it again as we get another shot out. And look at the grouping, y'all. Y'all think I'm joking. Arthas, solid hit. Only 6 that time. Only half the shells hit the target. But again, I talk about the Montana in a good light because of its consistency. I love the ship. I love the armor belt of this ship. I love its tankiness. I love its ability to just absolutely obliterate people if given the opportunity. Now you can see the destroyer is kind of cheesing a little bit of damage, and look at this grouping again. You guys think it's a fluke? Straight into the superstructure. Blam, 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 blam. Just every shell. 6 more shells on target. 7 technically hit them. So we're hitting over 50% of our shells almost every single shot. And some of them we're hitting almost 90% of our shells. It's ridiculous. But you can see he's going to border hump here, and in my head he's turning towards me. In fact, he actually hits it, and you look at the mini-map, you can see he's actually going away from it a little bit. So this first shot's awful. Y'all can make fun of me in the comments down below at how bad that shot was. But we're at 242,000 damage, and I'm just wishing people would stop shooting him. I'm like, come on, let me have him. I've done my job. Please, I need this. I want it so bad. I thought that this was going to be the game, but unfortunately, too much damage melted away from everybody there at the end of the match. But then we get that grouping, but it doesn't matter because he's on fire, he's low health, and we managed to get the kill. That was surprisingly our only kill of the game. It seemed like we did a lot more than that, didn't it? But 246,000 damage, top of the leaderboard, 3K base XP, solid game. Kleber coming in a close second. Good teamwork by him. So let me know if you guys are still enjoying the hunt for 300K. Do you guys want to continue to see this series to completion? And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video.